etc. So, and I, by the way, I've reached out to Peter Kelly, the attorney who handled this for her. I've not gotten a response yet. If I do, of course, we'll share that. If we can get a conversation with him going, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be terrific. Invite him on the show.
Special update for Karma Dharma. Karma Dharma alert. The mug is in the mail. That's it.
Karma Dharma won the last Where in the World is Justice, and the mug is coming, Karma Dharma, but you're onto it, Michael. And yeah, you know, I have to tell you, I give credit to my streaming partner, co-host, and you see why he won an Emmy Award. He thought I was going to take the night off tonight because it was my birthday. All right.
Well, so that's what we talked about.
He said all day pulling up documents, researching, doing all this for all of you on the show tonight. And I do think he's onto it, and no one else is showing you these documents. And I think this is a good thing that we're doing this.
Every time I talk to one of the clerks, what would be the first thing they said? Oh, that's a criminal matter. And I said, no. I'm very familiar with the criminal matter. I'm very familiar with the probate and family court matter. This is a civil matter. Right. So once I got them onto it, they were fine. Okay, before we go into what happens after this, I really want to listen to the officer. I mean the chief.
Okay.
See if I can find that.
No problem. Here's Freedom Ring. I have to tell you, I know you don't like Julie, but to us, she's been very fair. So I only judge her how she's been to us. But pro Commonwealth, we have different opinions. We absolutely have different opinions, and and I will say that absolutely completely different. But thank you, Freedom Ring, for pointing that out.
Okay, so we're going to bring in the chief, and this is the where'd you go, Chiefy? This is the presser. This is the presser. If I can find him again, I know you're here somewhere, buddy. There we go. This is the presser in which we first hear, and I want you to take note of how many hours have passed before the, let's see if I get this one right. I see I have two different ones here, so stand by. There we go. How much time has passed? And you'll find it quite, I think, coincidental and maybe amusing. How much time has passed since they got the case and are having this press conference?
First, let me say thank you all for your patience last evening. As you can imagine, when an event takes place at 6 p.m. and we're all looking for answers, I know you had lots of questions last night. The public had lots of questions, but we thought that everyone would be better served by getting as many preliminary facts.
This is not the chief. I'm sorry. He's here. We'll hear from him
as we could, and then putting it out today, obviously with an eye toward being as transparent as we can, given the circumstances. Last evening, shortly after 6 p.m., 3 North Andover police officers went to 125 Phillips Brook Road in North Andover. And the purpose of going there was to serve a court-approved restraining order. The subject of the restraining order was 28-year-old Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Ms. Fitzsimmons was an off-duty North Andover police officer. She has approximately a year and a half on the job here with NAPD. 3 North Andover police officers were on the scene, one of whom was a supervisor. When one of the officers was escorting Ms. Fitzsimmons during the service of the court order, an armed confrontation took place. As a result of that armed confrontation, one of the responding officers discharged their weapon, which struck Ms. Fitzsimmons once. She was immediately given medical care, was med-flighted to a Boston hospital, and as of this morning, we're told she is in stable condition. The officer that discharged the firearm is a veteran officer, having served over 20 years with the department. Now, as you can imagine, we're only about 16 hours out from this incident.
Okay, how many hours out?
16.
Does that ring a bell at all to you? Like the Karen Reed case? At 16 hours out, Proctor had already decided
to solve the case.
Done everything. Right. And that was pointed out at trial by Alan Jackson that 16 hours, it's a done deal. Well, 16 hours here, they're just barely scratching the surface.
There are still lots of questions. There's an ongoing investigation. Currently, the investigation is being done by Massachusetts State Police detectives assigned to my office at the Essex DA's office under the direction of Captain John Costa and Detective Lieutenant Robert DeMeo. There are lots of interviews to be done. There are lots of pieces to be put together. There's lots of things that remain unanswered, but for now, we want to make sure that the people of North Andover and across the Commonwealth know as much as we can give out at this time, being as transparent as we can. We also know that serving restraining orders, court-approved restraining orders, are sometimes some of the most dangerous duties that police officers uncover, no matter who the object of that order is. Chief Gray has been a great partner with us, not only through this investigation, but through many others. I wanted to make sure we give the chief an opportunity to speak, particularly about his officers. And sometimes we worry deeply about the wellness of our police officers as well, particularly in difficult circumstances. So they're in our thoughts. Chief Gray.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now, before the star of the show takes over, things they didn't say that I think they purposely left out, and not because of the nature of the investigation. They didn't mention who had asked for the restraining order, not by name, just the what person, how do they fit into the mix?
Right.
They didn't mention a child was involved, and they didn't mention the name of the officer that shot her. Although he got that wrong too. He said he shot her once. Well, he hit her once, but apparently shot twice. But anyway, they were far less than transparent. Okay, here's the chief.
Thank you. Just some quick words on what happened. It's an ongoing investigation, like the DA said. There's not much we can talk about. We're concerned for all the officers on duty and off duty, and we're just going to monitor and hopefully get some results.
Okay. We will be able to take some questions, and to the extent that the chief and I are able to answer them, we will. As you can imagine, over the next few days, we'll probably be getting more answers. There are lots of interviews being done. State police detectives worked well into the night last night. We spoke with them this morning. They're already at it this morning. So to the extent that we can answer some questions, we will. Some we may have to defer for a little bit more time. We're going to make sure that what we do give you is accurate information rather than speculation. I know you all appreciate that as well. So having said that, we can take some questions and we'll do the best we can to answer.
Was the officer, was the off-duty officer armed, and what precipitated the on-duty officer to fire at her?
So what we're saying is accurately that there was an armed confrontation. In terms of the details of that and how that came to be, it was during the service of the court-approved restraining order. But the very granular details, we're waiting to speak on until we get the interviews back from our state police detectives who are speaking with the North Andover officers that were involved.
How about the restraining order? Can you tell us what all the nature of that, who was it for, et cetera?
So I can't comment on who the plaintiff was, but I can tell you that a court order, there are check boxes. Oftentimes it's stay away from, no contact, and turn over all firearms. So the restraining order was a standard 209A filed by the plaintiff and served by the North Andover officers.
Were the officers going to retrieve her weapon?
Pursuant to the court order, one of the standard boxes to check is retrieval of any firearms in the home. That's standard operating.
Can you say where she was struck?
No, I'm not going to comment on the medical condition at all.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What's your take on why they don't mention a child was involved in the restraining order? No name, but just that element.
Well, let me go back one step before I answer that. I feel like a politician saying this. Why is it that a police officer doing his job gets to file a civil restraining order against the person that he goes to the house against to do his job? And we see that, right? This is the right.
Well, that you mean the Justin? Yeah,
Justin, he's a firefighter, right? So we know he
yes,
files a
and he
restraining
was
order.
called 10 minutes after they got there and said, "Come on over." That's not normal.
That's what I guess I'm going to. I didn't say, but I said police officer, not a firefighter. Then you have the police officer who also gets an order through the courts, even though it may not be that he applied for it, to a stay away order, right, from her, the person who shot. This whole process sounds, I don't know. I think with regard to the child, it's because it's a child. Simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Obviously, you're not going to say who it is,
Right.
but I just think they did that because it would immediately tell the press and then the public that this was a volatile situation. We were serving a temporary restraining order that involved removing an infant child from his mother. They don't want to get behind that. They don't want to get in front of it. They don't want to be anywhere near it. So we haven't heard the last from the chief.
That's an interesting take, Michael.
Yeah.
Were in the house at the time, including Ms. Fitzsimmons?
I can tell you that there were 3 North Andover police officers. In terms of other people in the house, until I get the full reports back, I won't be able to tell you how many and who they were.
Is there
Okay, ditch. That's a ditch, right? I can't. There's a specific question: who was in the house? Until I get the reports back, I feel like I'm watching a Jets press conference, so I have to look at the tape.
He can't even tell you that she was or wasn't alone, right?
Right.
Can't. Well, we know.
I get the reports back.
We know who wasn't there. The fiance who made the complaint. We know who was there. The baby that they came to get. So yeah, it's just such just flagrant bullshit that they're hoping they don't get called on at some point.
We're actually looking to see what camera footage is available. I have not seen any, and I don't have any reports on any.
Do North Andover police officers typically have body cameras on when they're executing these court orders?
No, the North Andover Police Department does not use body cameras at this time.
Can you speak at all to her mental health, and also was this related at all to her efforts to have her weapon was taken away from her, and then she had sought relief in the courts, and I think it was Friday she dismissed that. Is this related to that at all?
So the scope of our investigation right now is the actual armed confrontation. I'm sure that there'll be further information coming out. I'm sure that North Andover PD will be looking at that as well. But in terms of commentary on her mental health, I'm not comfortable speaking on that at this time.
Can you talk at all about the efforts that she sought to have her weapon given back to her? Can you speak to that at all? What that situation was and why?
So, Chief of Personnel Matter?
Personnel matter, yes.
Okay.
Chief, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just, it is a personnel matter, so we aren't going to speak about anything like that. Yes, ma'am.
I know you guys are pros. Can you speak?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I heard this question. I almost threw up. Okay. Are you ready for this? You ready for this?
Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet, because
Okay.
the chief turns to look at personnel matter.
Yeah.
We know that it involves a personnel. I mean,
they could have said that the very first thing and said, we're not going to talk about it. Personnel matter. Well, what the hell are we doing here?
Then what are we doing here? Right. Okay. So now throw up, Michael.
Okay. So yeah. Listen to this question. This reporter ought to be stripped of whatever credentials she's got.
Speak about how you're all feeling today, not just the 3 responding officers.
You
how
missed
you're
it. Go
feeling.
back. Let's play it again. Let's play it again before the question. You're all pros. Let's play it again.
Yes, you're all pros. That's how she started it. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Let me see if I can back it up here.
I'm
a little
sorry.
touch. You're all pros. So let me ask you a ridiculous question.
Yes.
Okay.
Chief, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just, it is a personnel matter, so we aren't going to speak about anything like that. Yes, ma'am.
I know you guys are pros. Can you speak about how you're all feeling today, not just the 3 responding officers, how you're feeling? What's the mood?
I mean, it's a critical incident, and like a lot of critical incidents that police officers deal with, we all have our own way of, getting through it, whether together or by ourselves, and this is no different.
How about the person who was shot? Yeah, an officer in your department who was a mother of basically almost a newborn was just shot and is in critical care.
They talk about she was air flighted out.
Right.
I mean, that's never good. I don't care. So I think you have to assume, well, she wasn't hit in the pinky toe. She wasn't hit in the arm. That's serious. And that question, how are you feeling? Not just those involved, but oh my God, just so nauseating. Okay.
I think everybody in our chat just threw up Michael Bryan.